So at the moment I'm hoping I can just make a very simple door frame. It's only temporary. Keeping the original timber at the moment because that is supporting the rubble layer or the heartstone layer in between the two lintels. So we don't want to be taking those out yet. So quite literally, side there, side there. I'll then put a threshold strip in between which will keep both sides tight against the walls, and then I'll put a fixing in the middle, sort of halfway up or halfway down depending on how you look at it. Hang a door and dress it up. That's the plan. I'm no carpenter. Let's see how it goes. Oh, a new channel member, Sharon Simonat. I think I pronounced that right. Sorry if not, Sharon. Thank you so much for being our latest channel member. Little secret wave to you. While people are here, give us a like while you're watching, and if you want to follow us on what we're doing, hit the subscribe button as well. Thanks ever so much. So there we go, one rehung door. I'm quite pleased with it. I didn't get to put the threshold timber down because this floor is lower than the floor in there, and my idea was to cover the hole up that way, or the gap I should say, not the hole. But it tilts the timber, so although a tripping hazard, I'll come up with something temporarily. As I said earlier, it's temporary because we're not sure whether we're going to leave these stones on show or whether we will dress the door frame up like this one over here, whether we'll do the same with that or the same as that, which it was originally on this side. But I'm pleased. The door frame's well overkill to be exposed like this, but as a job just to get the door back on and functioning, I'm really pleased. So my goal, like the living room, is basically 2 uprights, a timber in the middle, squishing those to the wall, but I will fix these as well. Whoops. A timber across the bottom to keep them out, and really that's it. Then make a door. That's the plan. The living room didn't go too bad, which you've seen. It's there, it's a door in a hole, it opens and closes. So then hopefully I can use the same principle. I'm keeping it nice and easy with the fixings, because Dawn at some point will come along and repoint all of this as well. So I don't want to go mad with the fixings. We'll see how the rest goes.
I can't remember how I was going to do these, but
As I said yesterday, I'm no carpenter, so I'm fairly reluctant to do my bits and pieces on camera. I'm making most of it up as I go along. If my dad was here, he was a carpenter and joiner, and he would have had it done by now and it would have looked great. But he's not here. He will be watching though. Hi, Dad. So, as I say, I've not filmed a great deal. Hopefully the end result will make it look a lot better than it currently does. So these are all made from, well no, not these are made from, these are the old floorboards from the second bedroom that we did, what we managed to salvage. I did think we had more, but this has pretty much used up the stock as a outdoor shed door. Absolutely brilliant. And you can see what I do with this in a little bit. So here is the first door I made. I got the bug once I'd put the frame in the living room. So I thought, yeah, I'll make a door for that as well. The only thing left to do on this one is to scribe around the stones and try and put some panelling on the edges to try and get rid of that gap, just to dress it up and make it look a bit nicer. We now have a fixed step. Let me wander you through here. This will have a Suffolk latch on, but instead of going out actually takes, you think, oh, I'll just pop out to screw fix, and it's not a pop out. I think I said before, round trip, by the time you've done your little bit of shopping as well, you're looking at an hour and a half, 2 hours. I just wanted to get this done. So the handle was absolutely fine for the time being, and just a bolt as its holder. So there we go. I've just gone with the same style as the doors which were upstairs in the house, which is basically some boards and 3 across. The hinges are mega overkill. I think they're 18-inch T hinges. Now the reason we've got those, we had 4 of those, is because we were going to put or make a door for the big outbuilding, and we were going to hang that door, and then the roof fell in and Dawn's now repairing it and everything and so on. So these are really overkill. Again, we had them, I've used them, they will get replaced with much smaller ones, 14, maybe 6-inch, 16-inch, something like that. So that I'm pleased with. And just a simple Allen key which drops down. At the moment, like I say, it'll have a Suffolk latch on it, so you'll be able to open and close it. But that's that one, and I was really pleased with that one. Unlike the mess I can leave when I'm doing door frames, and I can leave the tools in the shed and bits and pieces, Dawn has to clean all of the I don't know what they're called, trowel and bits and pieces, and the cement mixer, need to clean it out, and that's an operation in itself.
Yes.
The great tits that were in the bird box, they've fledged, they've gone, and the wren has literally just called her babies out and they've fledged as well. So that's good news.
Yeah, quite handy because now you can
Yeah,
do your own
I was only saying, I don't know, half an hour ago, I'm not going to be able to do the door frame and the door for the back side of the shed because of the wrens, and she must have heard me and called the babies out.
Maybe she didn't like the noisy neighbourhood anymore.
No, possibly not. This is how we pay back helping the farmers. Our job is to stand in the road and guide the cows.
Right, so it's a new day and I've got new buckets. I got fed up with the other ones with, let me turn you around because I'm just going to open the bag of lime. Got fed up with the other ones. One, not being the same bucket, so it makes it a lot harder. And two, every time filling them up, because they're buckets that we just found from around in the outbuildings, and they're old bird food buckets that we bought with us. And because they're so old, they've got tiny little cracks in them, so every time I'm filling them up with water, it's slowly dripping away as I go. So Ben ordered me some new buckets. I have 4 shiny buckets. I'm sure they won't stay shiny for long. And I've taken a chance, there it goes, on a break in the weather, because it's been a bit on-off rainy all day. When I say all day, it's only about, I don't know what time it is, 11:30. And this is the first prolonged bit of dry weather, so now is the time for getting the lime out of the bag. Whilst it's not raining. And I should have my mask on, I haven't got it. Left it in the outbuilding. I'll take you in the outbuilding in a minute and show you what I finished up on yesterday. Right. I will put my mask on before I puff it into the mixer. But yeah, I will take you into the outbuilding in a sec and show you where I got to. Right. 9 litres, yeah, 9 litres. Right, here we go, around the corner. It's nice and sunny at the moment. And this That's what I've managed to achieve so far. There's still a hole, but it's a lot less big hole. Get you closer. I've just done the bashing it with the churn brush and getting off bits and pieces from last night. I think I may have brushed it a little bit hard here and there because I can see some brush marks, which is not ideal, but I'm sure as I go along it'll get better. But I'm really pleased with how it's come out so far. I'm hoping, where's my finger, we'll have a course going here, one there. See, I might get away with 3 courses, maybe 2.5 if I go for some thinner stones in between. But it's a good point to show you actually. These here, I think, would be classed as a bond stone because they don't come all the way through. A through stone would come from one side of the wall to the other side of the wall. Bond stones, I think, kind of stretch halfway, and I can't remember the meterage squared that you should put them within a wall, but I am trying with ones that I've already done so far down here, and this one, it's not quite as large as their bond stones, to bring them into the other side along with putting all the rubble into the middle anyway. But when I come to these ones, I'm hopefully going to try and get something that's going to fit in there and support either side under there, and do the same over here too. And it's like I said the other day, I've read so many books, watched so many YouTube videos, and I'll always say I think the book that's helped me the most is the Pat McAfee stone buildings, and then I've recently bought the stone walls as well. And I thought it might be worth, and I'll have to go and grab them from indoors, but it might be worth, if you're doing anything like this and you're all right with reading books. I know not everybody reads books anymore because of the internet, but these books I've read from cover to cover so many times, and I've learnt so much. So it's nice to learn from people who do this as a living. As beginners, you're never going to be as good as these people, but if you learn from somebody who already knows how to do it, you're more likely to get on the right path of doing it. So I'll, if I remember, and I'll probably forget, later on I'll show you the few books that I have read, and if I try and find any links of YouTubers that I've watched that have helped with the mixing and all sorts of things, I'll stick them, look at me, I'll stick them below. It won't be me, it'll be Ben that does it. But I thought it could be helpful because it has been helpful to me. I'm the type of person who likes to learn everything I possibly can because it just makes it easier. If you've already got some knowledge within your brain, it makes it easier to embark on doing something like this when it's something that you haven't ever done before. Up until moving over here, I'd never even used a cement mixer or a paddle mixer or anything. So it's a lot. It's a lot to learn, and lime especially is a lot to learn. But anyway, I'll stop a waffling. I shouldn't be allowed the camera on my own. Actually, while I've got you, once I finish that patch there, this here is my next port of call. Try and get that straightened up across there and again along the top of the wall. And luckily the outside isn't too bad other than needing some pointing. Doesn't need any rebuilding, so that's quite handy. I was going to say it shouldn't take as long as the inside, but sometimes the pointing can take longer because it's more finicky. got mine on now. Right, whilst the mixer's doing its thing, I will be looking for my next lot of stones out of all of these piles. This is the bit that takes the most amount of time, I think, looking for the right stones. And I'm not very good at picking things up with my legs and not my back. So I'm trying to learn to do that. Rather than hurting my back.
So here we go again. Great big overkill hinges, a much smaller hinge which we found, and a slightly larger hinge which we found, but again they will be replaced with all the same hinges. Why 4 hinges, Ben, you may be asking? Wow, there we go. Let's have a look at this. Again, there'll be probably a Suffolk latch, we're not sure. Lovely sunny day. Why 4 hinges? Because what we didn't want to do was lose this view from when we were out just out the back of the house. So Dawn came up with the idea of a stable door. How about that? Now if you're a joiner, you've probably already looked closely anyway. Don't judge. As I've said before, I'm not a carpenter, not a joiner. So in effect, I made a door, I stuck 4 hinges on it, and I cut it in half. So you've got the weather strip on the top door, just to stop the rain. Let's have a look from the outside. Again, a screw at the moment for its handle. It's wonky, but for a first go at a stable door, I'm actually really pleased. Let's take that behind there. Now our one neighbour, she saw it yesterday, she went, "Oh, you got to paint it red, that's a traditional colour for stable doors, or green, red or green." Now we'd already said about green, there is a dark red Dawn likes. I need to put a weather strip down the bottom as well, not that it will make any difference. So there we go, 1 door hung, 2 new doors made, and again this one just needs some paneling scribed just to cover the edges up, just to make it look a little bit nicer. So that's what I've been up to. Slow process, bit by bit, but really all of that stemmed from the fact that we can now get in the shed and use the workbenches. We know where everything is, everything's accessible, so it does make life much easier, really easy. While I've been doing this, Dawn has been doing all of the stonework, as you've seen. Yesterday, what is it, Saturday today? Yesterday I went and swapped that gate, so we now have a pair of gates. I hung those. Still yet to put, well, I say still yet to, I only hung them yesterday, a centre post out, will be removable. I'm thinking a 4-inch post just to go up there to be able to bolt into both sides. I used bolt hinges on that side to make them adjustable. That doesn't look upright. I don't understand why. It did pick on my brain a little bit yesterday, and that one I just bolt on hinges. That was nice and simple. That was not long to hang that one. Let's see. And they either open out, which you shouldn't do really. Oh, ooh. And they also open inwards. The reason I say they shouldn't open out is because it's onto a road, but as you know, it's not a busy road. Let me swing this one back round. It stays in place on its own. I'm pleased about that. So there we go. So a door hung, 2 new doors made, there's Dawn, look, and 2 field gates. It's been a busy one this week. Just finished this one. I had hoped that I'd get a lot more than this done this week, but the weather's been a bit strange. We're not really supposed to have a whole lot of rain, but we've had probably more rain than we've had right. So I haven't done as much as I'd hoped. But next one, I picked up some stones already. Hopefully
So, as predicted, I forgot to show you the books. So I thought whilst I've got the mix going, I'll run in quickly and grab them and show you the two books. Yeah, this one here is the one I've read the most. That's the one I bought before I moved over to Ireland. And then I bought this one a few weeks back. I haven't read that one as much as this one. But I've chucked a few post-it notes in just as the kind of info that's within these books, with cutting stones. What else did I put that I thought might be interesting? See, I thought this would be easy to do this, it's not. And then sort of how the walls are constructed, the through, the bond stones, the cores, the hearting, and then the tools that you'd use, but it also tells you incorrect ways of doing it. So it's just things to look out for. Rather than just telling you how to do it, it tells you how not to do it. So you just can keep an eye on what you're doing. So don't look too closely at my stonework, because I'm sure there's things that I haven't done. This is where I've got to at the moment. I'm not 100% happy with these big joints here and there, but as long as you don't look too closely, it actually looks all right. I've not got quite as much done as I'd hoped I'd get done. I was hoping to be able to finish it all. I haven't, but I've got a mix going for today. Hopefully over the weekend I'll get this finished. It's so much more completed than the last time you saw it. And it's gone all right. There's times, because I'm a bit, I don't know, I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so it stresses me if I can't get it right, and I have to keep going back and trying different stones. But I'm hoping that with the more time, I should turn this around so you're not staring at a blank wall, but you are looking at the book, so at least that's in your mind. I'm hoping, Ben will moan at me because I'm in direct sunlight. I'm still in direct sunlight, right. I'm hoping as time goes on, it'll become more natural to do this. But anyway, that's me for the week. I don't think I had anything else I was supposed to say. My mind goes blank. As soon as the camera comes out, my mind goes blank. I'm sure it happens to lots of YouTubers. You have it in your mind of what you're going to say, and then when the camera turns on, you're like, I can't remember a thing. Anyway, thank you ever so much for watching, liking, subscribing. I think Ben's mentioned our latest channel member, so thanks ever so much to them and to everyone else who's a channel member. So that's it for us for this week, and we will see you next weekend. Bye bye.